of a new era, the inception of a great nation. We stood at the front lines of victory, watching keenly as the Union Jack was pulled down to pave way for the symbol of peace, love, and unity. This was the first liberation, a chance at rebirth and the absolution of all past transgressions. Nothing mattered except hope. Hope is not just the feeling of expectation, but the feeling that all those expectations will come alive in our lifetime. Hope is what tied us together as we danced in unity and prayed, "O God of all creation, bless this, our land and nation." Hope was seated amongst us as we discussed the new opportunities awaiting us, and hope did not abandon her children, but was their shield and defender at a time when she was all they had. Our great land flourished with promise, and the fight for independence was now a prominent story, part of a rich history that would mark the foundation of Kenya. We stood on the shoulders of great men and women that made it possible for us to enjoy this freedom, and indeed plenty was found within our borders. This was Kenya's time for an upward turn, a time to make the journey worth it. Let one and all arise, they said. It was not to be, as the country entered a period of social stratification that led to much bigger problems that have plagued us until today. The dark days previously cast upon us were now once again hanging over our heads when we found new ways to ensure we were further divided than when our colonizers left us. An era characterized with political repression and revolutionary terror was to befall the great nation of Kenya, and many fallen heroes to go down with its tumbling walls. Draped in fear and uncertainty, we all recalled a time when we sang, "And our homeland of Kenya, heritage of splendor, firm may we stand to defend." But the joy of that song had long left the ones for who it was intended. Thrown into a whirlwind of bad governance and corruption, the country was at a standstill, with everyone seeking answers and once again looking to the promises of those early days when our country was born. The second liberation in Kenya happened when some brave leaders took it upon themselves to fight the good fight. They stood up for Kenyans who could not speak up on these matters. They fought to open the democratic space and to start the trend of demanding accountability from sitting governments. We all remember Saba Saba as a time that started this dialogue. These brave leaders suffered at the hands of power along those lonely corridors of justice that favored only but a few. Some were detained, tortured, and forced to denounce their mission, but upon release continued to fight for the freedoms we enjoy today. Freedoms we cannot take for granted. Freedoms that govern how we live our lives today and the comforts we enjoy. Freedoms that bind us together like that promise made in those early days. Today, we celebrate 54 years of self-governance and independence. We have never been closer to square one. We have gone back in history to a time filled with fear and uncertainty. Corruption is at an all-time high, with ministries being robbed clean of funds meant to develop the nation. Misappropriation of taxpayers' money is nothing new, and our leaders in power have openly told the public that they do not know what to do with corruption in their government. Dear Kenyans, don't you want answers? Isn't it high time your government started working for you? We as NASA want to walk with you into the future and deliver you into the third liberation that we all so desperately seek. A future where each Kenyan can contribute to a greater good for the country. A future with a clear development agenda, complete with accountability measures. A future where the economy grows not just in figures and jargon, but its impact felt by all. A future where we build cohesion so that each man, woman, and child will feel included in this development we speak of. Because, as we have seen in the last few years, growth without redistribution is not development. And progress is not reserved for a few special people in our nation. It belongs to you. One man will lead us into this time that will see reforms in education, revolutionize ICT, upgrade our agricultural systems, and welcome developments in infrastructure so that we put Kenya on the map to compete on a global platform with other leading countries for better opportunities. Amkeni ndugu zetu. We are heading into Nane Nane. On the 8th of August 2017, our country deserves a change. Our country deserves a makeover. And it starts tonight. Fellow Kenyans, you have been led off course long enough. And now our man, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, will get us back on track. Sit back, relax, and let us lead you to Canaan.
Yes.
DJ, tafadhali.